God was about to bless her, but she had to make room. She began to pour that oil into borrowed vessels. And the Bible says, as long as she had empty jars, the oil kept flowing. The moment the jars ran out, then the oil stopped. Your miracle is measured by your expectations. That woman could have borrowed 2 jars, but she borrowed many. When you pour into others, God will multiply for you. As long as there was emptiness, God was able to provide fullness. This woman didn't get wealthy overnight. She got free enough to pay off her debt and live off the rest. Maybe tonight you feel like your jar is too small. Maybe you've underestimated what's still in your house, your hands, your spirit. But God is asking, what do you have left? Because it's not about the quantity, it's about the capacity to trust. And then we talk about the father of faith, Abraham. Because Abraham got a request that I think racked his mind as a father. Abraham was called to do the unthinkable, to offer up his beloved son Isaac as a sacrifice. It wasn't a test of resources. It wasn't a test of enemies. It was a test of obedience and trust in God who gave him the promise. As Abraham and Isaac climbed the mountain, Isaac noticed that something was off. Maybe it was something about the way his father was behaving. Maybe it was the expression on his face. Something about Abraham or something went on that caused Isaac to notice something was off. He probably looked around and checked to see what was going on. What did they have? Everything. Was something missing? And then he realized it and he said, my father, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham gave an answer that echoes to the ages. My son, God will provide himself a lamb. He didn't know how God would provide this lamb. Abraham didn't know where this lamb was coming from. He just knew that the lamb was coming from God. And when he raised the knife, not out of cruelty, but out of trust, the angel of the Lord stopped him and said, lay not thine hand upon the lad. And Abraham looked up, and there in the thicket was a ram caught by its horns. God had already placed provision on the mountain. Abraham just couldn't see it until he climbed all the way up to the top of the mountain. Sometimes provisions doesn't show up until you get to the point of surrender. God doesn't test you to kill you. He tests you to show you that he's already made a way. And when your back is against the wall and your hands are tied, God will reveal what's already waiting in the thicket. At Genesis 22:14, the Bible says, and Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. God will provide. It wasn't seen at the base of the mountain. It wasn't seen halfway up the mountain.